Ty, Vaughn, and I sing and play guitar in Broadway Calls.
Yeah, so you released your new album, Comfort Distraction, back in February. Can you tell me a little bit about the record? Was there anything in particular that you set out to do or accomplish with this record?
Yeah, we really wanted to, and a lot of people have commented on how long it took us to get the record out. We really wanted to take our time with it, and we did. We just wrote a ton of songs and wanted to put out a record that to us didn't have any filler and was full of songs that we wanted to play live. And so yeah, we took our time with it, and by the time we recorded it, it was still almost a year later is when it actually got released. So it did seem like it took a lot longer than to other people than it did to us, because we had the record a year before everybody else. Yeah.
Do you think that the slow process offered anything to the album? Doing that helped it along in any way, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were just a lot more comfortable going into the studio than we were last time. This time we only had 2 weeks in the blasting room, as opposed to Good Views we had 3 weeks. This time we knew Bill already going into it. We knew how he worked, and that really helped our confidence as well. We learned a lot from the first time we were there. And so this time we were just, we kind of knew, how he was going to criticize our songs and how he was going to help us make them better. And we knew we had less time to do it. And so we just really did our best communicating with him before we got there, sending him all the demos and everything. And just thinking about what we learned last time while we were writing the songs. And I think it really helped. But we definitely used all of those 2 weeks. We were doing 18-hour days and just busting our ass,
Yeah, you ended up recording and paying for it yourself due to label issues. In hindsight, is there anything you took away from that experience?
Yeah, I think that it was scary. It was a situation that was really weird, and we've never had to put ourselves in major debt like that before with a record, And so, but we definitely don't have any regrets. We were very happy with No Sleep, and they're taking really good care of us in North America, and it was kind of we don't have anything that we had for the last record. We don't have any management. We didn't have any booking agent. We didn't have any record label, and we went in and made the record anyway, and it was because we knew it was time to make a record. And we could have waited to see if we got a label first, but I'm really happy that we just kind of went for it, and everything seems to be working out. So.
You said that with Good Views, you felt that only about half the songs translated well live, whereas with Comfort Distraction, you could play them all, or you will be playing them all eventually. Why do you think songs off this album fare better live, and which ones have been your favorites so far?
I believe they come off better live just because I think, honestly, we wrote this record more as a complete band as opposed to Good Views. Adam joined the band a couple of years ago, and he's an incredible bass player and vocalist. He's a way better singer than I am technically, and he he adds a lot while we were in the writing process, and we wrote everything. Every practice was the three of us together making things happen, and I think that helped a lot. And we knew the mistakes we made with Good Views, and we wanted to be able to have a record full of songs that we were comfortable playing live. So we still haven't played every song live yet, but we've practiced them on. We know we can. So it's kind of right now we just kind of play the songs that people ask to hear, and I really like playing Lucky Lighter. That's because it's just a little bit slower pace than our other ones, but it's still pretty good energy to it. And the songs are Open Letter is a really fun one to play. We played that every show since we started touring on this record, and it's just they're a little bit different. They're a little bit more of I get to do some things on the guitar that I don't really get to do with our older songs, Yeah, it's just fun. It's just more fun to play live.
You said in an interview with Absolute Punk that the song Surrounded by Ghosts on this record is what Broadway Calls sounds like to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, are there any songs that you've written for the band that don't sound like Broadway Calls to you? That's a little bit of an interesting statement. And if so, why does this schism exist, and where does it come from?
That's a great question. I think what I really mean by that is that just when we wrote that song, it came together so easily in the studio, or not in the studio, in our practice space. Like, that was one of the only songs that we really just did in one practice, and we were pretty satisfied with the way it turned out. And when I listen to it now, it just kind of represents the exact kind of pop punk that I love and really wanted this band to sound like originally. We can't have every song sound like that, and we don't want every song to sound like that. But I just mean that's specifically like the sound that I was going for when I first thought about writing songs like this. We still like to have fast songs and slower songs, and we have songs like Zombie World on the new record that's way more experimental for us. It's just a weird song. And I still love those songs, and we still play that live as well. It's just, when it comes to like the sound of Broadway Calls, I would say Surrounded by Ghosts is a good one to show somebody if they've never heard us for the first time.
So on the topic of the writing process, in what ways do you think that you've personally evolved throughout each album?
I think that working with Bill really has helped me kind of gain some confidence in my lyrics and be able to think outside the box a little bit. I remember when we were going to work with him for Good Views, I had never met him, and we were talking on the phone. We'd have like 2-hour conversations on the phone, just talking about ideas and everything before that. And I had an idea for Be All You Can't Be, and I was like, I have this song, and I'm not really sure if I want to write about this topic. I've never really got this specifically political in a song before and all this stuff. And he's like, if you're gonna change it to just like a song about a girl, do not do that. Like, make sure that you are writing about these ideas that you feel passionate about. And so he kind of made me feel comfortable in doing that. So I think that also with this new record, I tried to get a little, some people would say vague, or kind of like poetic or whatever. I just tried not to be as literal with my lyrics, and so people could maybe interpret them differently, and that was something that I feel like I kind of have gotten better at, I guess, over the years. Yeah.
So, what is a comfort or distraction you personally use when life gets scary or tough, and why do you use that over other things?
Okay, all right. The comfort distraction that I use, definitely my friends. I mean, I rely on my friends a lot to just, and I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to get better at just communicating in general. I've always been kind of a closed off person. So I try to talk to my friends about what's going on in my life. This past 3 months that we've been on tour and the record came out, it's been crazy and weird and all over the place for me. And so when we get to the 4-day breaks at home, I definitely do my best to just call up the people that I love and miss when I'm out here, and go get a drink with them, or sit outside and smoke a joint and talk about everything that has been going through my brain for the last several weeks that we've been on tour. And so yeah, definitely the people that I hold dear and close are my comfort and my distraction. Yeah.
It's a good way to be. It's a good way to be.
Thanks.
All right. Well, that's the interview.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.